Hello everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin once again. Thank you for support. Okay, big up the CoinsKid crew. So right now, one thing we need to keep an eye on here is the monthly 20 EMA. Okay, because the monthly 20 EMA is the thing that gives the game away, and I've always said that to you. Okay, now right now, if we close below this support here, this yellow line, which currently sits at around about 38761, we've got 13 days. Just under 2 weeks before that close. If it closes below, that's quite a negative thing. But you can see here what Bitcoin's essentially done is held support, okay? This big correction here, we've gone sideways in this kind of running flat correction. We've come down to support, we've held it, and right now we're running to resistance. And if we start to come back down to these lows, like I said to you, that's a very negative thing for Bitcoin to do, okay? Because you'll be forming a descending triangle. And I've shown you this before, and that's quite a negative pattern. This sort of tiny little descending triangle here, if you do start to come back down and retest these lows, that's a negative pattern, which is a descending triangle, and you start to fall out of it, you're going to be in a technical target down to the 55. We're not doing that yet, okay? We're not doing that. We've not even come back down to test these lows. If you can see here, if Bitcoin closes here this month and starts to pick up next month, then you can see you've got a low, a higher low, a higher low, another higher low, which is bullish. You're moving upstairs slowly but surely, and your support's getting higher. Like I said to you, the floor's rising. So keep an eye on this. Obviously, if we start to come down and we close below the 20, I do think that is going to give the game away. Like I said to you, the 20 EMA is the thing that gives the game away on any time frame, okay? So right now, if we close above, fantastic. We close below, not so fantastic. I do think that Bitcoin will be in a technical target to the monthly 55 EMA. We could get a little bit of a fake out, but historically we've never really done that. If ever we've lost to 20, we've always come down to the 55, so we need to pay attention to that. Okay, you can see that this red line would have come all the way down here. Okay, and we've got this capitulation down to the 55. Fantastic entry point. Again here, we come down, capitulate to the 55. Wouldn't have felt like a fantastic entry point, but indeed, looking back, it was, okay? Just there in this Corona dump when we went through this big impulse, this big corrective move, we lost it, lost the 20 there, and we headed on down to the 55. Fantastic entry point. At the time, it wouldn't have felt like it, okay? But you held it, and you start to come back up. So if it does get a bit nasty for Bitcoin, then just put some cheeky bids on the 55 monthly EMA, which currently sits at around about 24537. You may come down below that, okay, but it might just bounce off it and start to come back up if we do sort of enter a level of capitulation or a big massive correction, which I see a lot of people calling for. Now, one thing for me that I don't want to see is Bitcoin start to come down and lose the 55, start hitting its head, okay, because you can see this could contribute to this huge roll from which I don't know if Bitcoin will recover, to be honest with you. That would be very, very negative for Bitcoin. I don't necessarily envision it, but just because I don't envision it doesn't mean it won't happen. Anything is possible. It's all about support and resistance. If for example, I start to see Bitcoin come down and lose the 55 on the monthly, starts hitting its head, I'm completely out of crypto, I'll be honest with you, because I think that at that point you'll be losing structure for Bitcoin. You'll be doing something it's never done in its history, is losing the 55 consistently, losing its support, and then turning it into resistance, which creates this whopping downtrend. Okay, and all these doomsayers that saying that this is a bubble just there for Bitcoin, and the bubble's popped for crypto, and it's rolling into the depths of despair, and you've got a decade-long bear market like the dot-com bubble crash and things like that. They'll be right, okay, but I don't necessarily think they are. Again, I could be completely wrong. I know there's certain people out there saying that the market cap of crypto reached 3 trillion, the dot-com bubble market cap reached 3 trillion before it popped as well, and all the the uncertainty in the world, the FUD and things like that. I still think we've got a bit more leg room here in crypto, and it's growing faster than the internet grew in levels of adoption, and people don't really realise that. We're carving out an S-curve here on crypto, so I do think we're sort of looking at more upside basically, and these sort of movements, okay, are just shaking people out. And weak hands are selling to the strong hands basically, and you can see that on-chain analysis for Bitcoin shows us that, okay, but again, no guarantees. So it's all about structure for me. I do think that if you lose a 55, it will not be a good thing for Bitcoin, so keep an eye on that going forward, okay? But that's a doom scenario. For me to say that's going to do that, like most people out there are with a certainty, is pure hopium of that. Do you understand? For me, what Bitcoin's doing at the moment is actually bullish, because you've come up impulsively, correctively, and in this correction here, you're actually holding a monthly 20 EMA in a higher low situation. So this is actually a nice little bullish statement from Bitcoin. If we close the month about above a 20, expect more upside. It really is that simple, okay? So just a quick update for you today. Something I'm keeping an eye on here for Bitcoin actually on the RSI and the monthly time frame is, if the RSI, the stock RSI is in the floor, it's always an opportunity to buy more. Okay, no guarantees, but that's exactly where you want to be for an impulse move, and that's exactly where we are for an impulse move. The stock RSI is this is called the RSI, this yellow line here, okay, relative strength index. You can see it's forming its own little falling wedge where it's tightening, and you're getting this price compression here towards the apex. You can see that we're getting resistance here off this trend line. Do you see that? We've got resistance there, which is where we ran into resistance here, and right now we're coming back. Now obviously if we do start to break this resistance, this is something that's been key resistance for Bitcoin since last year. Now I do think that if we start to break out here and start to fall back to support, this could be the indication of we've got a big impulsive move here for Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. And what we've done, we've come up impulsively, correctively to support, and we're looking for continuation here for Bitcoin. Okay, let's keep an eye on that. I do think that right now we're having a correction. Obviously we're coming down to support. If we can hold that support, we're looking at continuation. I do think that people calling for a 3k Bitcoin are talking out the bumhole. Okay, they could be right though, and obviously if they are, I'll be down there buying it. But you know, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees of holding this support. There's no guarantees of losing support. It is what it is. You act on what the market's doing, and right now, you know, we're holding support for the continuation. So what I'm looking for here is for Bitcoin to hold this 20, start to come back upstairs and break this high. And I do think that an indicator of doing that and putting an impulsive move on the RSI, if we break this resistance that we've run into here, we come back to support and break this resistance, because you can see, like I've said to you, price compression works on the RSI as well. You're coming really close to the apex of this bullish reversal pattern, which is called a falling wedge in the RSI. And right now, if you start to break it, you're going to retrace to each point of contact. And you can see if you do start to do that, this is the power to come up and break this high again. It wasn't a bear market, it was a corrective phase of a bull market shaking people out. So that's basically Bitcoin. Hope you enjoyed that little update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned, and thank you for your support. Okay, take care everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Bye bye.